So I found this video, it's interesting. It's nice and short because it's been cut and all that. But at the very end of this is what's more interesting, because it was a gentleman watching it through YouTube or Facebook or whatever it is. Okay? But he's going to file a complaint on this judge. And due to him breaking basically the law. The Constitution says what this judge must do and did not follow through. So it disrupts the proceeding of public, alright, the press, to be able to watch this while there's a pandemic and all that kind of stuff through Zoom. Alright, and this actually happens pretty often from what I gathered. Alright, I don't have first-hand knowledge of fact of how often it does happen, but we're going to kind of go into a couple of different deals here. Alright, number one, always wake up and realize, well, let's back up a second. I'm not an attorney, don't care to be an attorney. Alright, this is a learning video. Do your own research. This is going to be just kind of what I observed. Okay? It doesn't mean it's facts, and it doesn't mean just false. Alright? So always do your own research. I never look straight forward. I always look around me for the outside forces may want to commit harm upon me. And the way I see this is this judge was committing harm against another man. Alright? The more we wake up and more we realize, y'all, there's two different jurisdictions mainly. Okay? And it's in the Constitution that all judges must go by. Okay? Unless it's contract law, which basically is what civil law actually kind of puts you in. Even though it's a lie, we believe it. So therefore, the false became true, even though it's false. Alright? So when people challenge jurisdiction of the courts, they must tell the people in that courtroom what jurisdiction. Alright? Is it common law, in which we are a common law country? Or is it amnesty, military tribunal law? Alright? Basically martial law or overseas. Okay? And since it's wink wink, not put we're on dry land, they still use amnesty law, but they don't let you know that either. Okay? Therefore, these judges don't never tell you which one it is. Now, they kind of dance around it, and I've seen attorneys actually just said they just have it. You know? And then they just don't really answer the question just as simple as the judges don't answer it. Why? Because they all belong in a bar union. But if a judge does not tell you plain out, common law, amnesty law, military tribunal, they have no jurisdiction. Civil law has no jurisdiction. Alright? We are not supposed to be a civil law country. We became one, but we're not supposed to be one. Alright? This country is supposed to be a republic, not, democracy. Alright? And this judge is acting into the democracy side and not the republic side. But that's what all judges do. So let's dig a little deeper in here. Okay? Sorry. Jeez, come on.
Here up front. Plus, we'll also take a break this morning at probably around 10:15 or 10:30. That'll work out to, say, 2 hours 40 minutes total for the hearing, which will be 80 minutes per side. I'll run a clock. We have to break at 11:30. If we're not done by then we can come back at 2, assuming anybody has time remaining to them at that point, and there's still business to be done. We'll go ahead and go on the record if you're ready, Madam Court Reporter. We're on the record in cause number D1 FM 15003-596 in the interest of FFC. This is a hearing on temporary orders, discovery disputes, various other disputes in a family case. The hearing is being conducted live on Zoom. It's being live streamed on the court's YouTube channel. The record of the hearing is being made by Della Duet, who is the official court reporter for the 455th District Court. The court does not allow anyone to make any audio or visual video recording of these proceedings. Any violation of this is subject to the contempt power of the court. That rule applies both to the folks here in the Zoom as well as to anyone who's tuning in on YouTube. The parties will utilize the application box to the extent necessary.
Okay, that's the number one problem right there. Now listen, y'all. We are not bar members of any sorts. The rules are to the bar members, but they leaked it out to the people, and because of the ignorance of the people, we trust in what they say, so we end up following rules that don't belong to us. And, policies. Right? Now, constitutionally, they had to put this on public, which you could watch on YouTube and Facebook and all that. Now, give me one simple answer to my question. Why can we not record them in the courtroom when clearly this has been recorded on YouTube and on Facebook and all that? Right? Why is there a policy saying that I cannot record my own hearing or anybody else's? But yet, here we are today on this. Alright? Think about that.
To offer and exchange exhibits. Counsel, will you state your name for the record, please?
Carol Weinman, I'm here for Ray Sal.
And the father, is it Mr. Champagne? Is that how you pronounce your last name?
Yes, Judge Howard. My name is Terrence Champagne, and you pronounced it correctly.
Okay, and you're here.
Okay. Right off the top, you kind of goofed up. Never really fully agree, and I guess you can, but always let them know that that's what some people call me. Okay? But just don't really never admit to it, right? And you'll see why you don't want to do it here in a minute, which I'm going to stop here in a minute.
Representing yourself, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You cannot represent yourself if you are yourself. That is a legalese term, not men's law or any other law. Okay? How can you represent yourself if you are yourself? You're speaking maybe on your behalf, but you cannot represent yourself. Sit and think about it for a minute and understand how that's pronounced. How can you represent yourself if you are yourself? And he needed to find that. He needed to tell the judge, Judge, how can I represent myself if I am myself?
Then why don't we get started? Obviously, there's several motions and things that have been filed. There, initially, I guess, in June, there was a petition to modify the parent-child relationship, and that was filed by, or on behalf of the mother in this case. And so, Mr. Champagne, I'm not sure if you've represented yourself in court before, but the way we'll proceed is I think I'm going to start by hearing from Ms. Weinman up front and get an overview of what the issues are that she has teed up. You don't have to raise your hand. I'll ask for you whenever you speak.
Hold on.
You don't get to tell me hold on. All right, Mr.
I have a
Champagne.
special appearance, Judge. I have a special appearance, and according to Rule
Mr. Champagne, please stop talking. Mr. Champagne, please stop talking.
Judge Howell, I just want to say to him
Stephanie, will you please mute Mr. Champagne?
Boom. Wait a minute. That judge cannot do that. That is like a due process. And he must answer the question he's going to ask. Now, I'm under the impression, because it doesn't show it, that he was going to challenge jurisdiction of the courts. I may be wrong, okay? But the way he spoke out on a special appearance, 9 times out of 10 is challenging jurisdiction of the courts, okay? Now, I guess his ex has an attorney, but the ex-attorney has no first-hand knowledge of the fact. So whatever that attorney says is actually hearsay. Now, regardless of what you guys think out there, because we've been so blinded and misled on all these things, hearsay is not even supposed to be an option in this, but yet this is what happens every day, every minute, every time in court. Everything is going by hearsay. Okay? We do have a right to counsel. Counsel and lawyers are two different things. Sometimes they act the same, but even in the I don't know the code, but even the Supreme Court says attorney and counsel is two separate deals. Attorney cannot be counsel, and counsel cannot be attorney. Alright.
Mr. Champagne, if you continue to attempt to interrupt me, I will hold you in contempt. You understand what that means?
May I speak?
Now, that is retaliation, because he is in court right now. He has the right to know what jurisdiction he's under before it goes proceed forward. But the judge wanted to overstep and threaten retaliation on something that he has the right to know. And the judge must let him know. And this is the problem we have with the justice system as today, and for a long time. The states really have no power over them anymore. The bar union has literally took over our system of justice and made it into a square box where states don't have control, the government has no control, and the federal government has no control, because everything has to do with the bar. That actually has lawfully no authority. It's a corporation. It's a union shielded by other lawyers outside, as in your state of representatives. Greg Abbott here in Texas is an attorney. He's not going to put no laws contradicting the bar. Why? Because he is a bar member. Our legislators that makes laws, most of them are lawyers. They're not going to contradict a bar member. Judges, become representatives of, being a governor or lawmaker or senate, they're not going to contradict the bar. This is the reason why we, the people, really need to start filing complaints and getting insurance to fire them so they cannot have all this authority anymore. Fake authority, by the way.
No.
Can you please explain that?
Not yet. No, not yet. You may not. This hearing is not going to go very well for you if you continue to interrupt me. You will get an opportunity to speak, but...
Again, this is not going to go very well for him, which is a threat. Don't matter what it is, that was not within his authority, because the man still has a right to know what jurisdiction, and he has special appearance. He is lawfully not even in court right now. Okay? I mean, basically, he's just a ghost that you can see on paper.
If you continue to interrupt me and attempt to talk over me, Ms. Duet cannot do her job, and I am telling you now, I will consider it to be contemptuous behavior. And that's not going to go well for you. So I understand you have a special appearance. You'll get a chance to make your argument in support of that. But we are going to proceed according to my procedure. And that's how it's going to work, Mr. Champagne. As I said, I'm going to hear from Ms. Wine.
Yeah. You get to have that chance to argue. He's not even arguing it. Right? He hasn't had enough time to even argue. But once again, he has a right to know before the court started, not after the court starts.
First, I want to hear an overview of the issues that are teed up today. And then after that, Mr. Champagne, I will hear a response from you. And if you have argument you want to offer, then I will let you know when it's time to offer that. Ms. Weinman. It's 10:15. Why don't we take...
Okay, so a lot of that got skipped. So I don't know what all happened between there, which would be interesting since there's a special appearance involved in this, what was all said. This video is going to take a little longer than I thought. I apologize, y'all. Anyway, I just imagine the way this judge is acting. Went through a lot of denying things that he had a right to. That's what happens during most of these proceedings.
A 5-minute break. We'll come back at 10:20. I can tell you, Ms. Weinman, that was 27 minutes of direct plus the 16 that you've already used. That's 43 minutes you've used of your 80. So you have 37 minutes remaining to you. We'll come back at 10:20. Thank you.
Now, just so you know, this is one of we the people that's calling, that was trying to watch this on Zoom, and he happens to know what's going on, so he decided to speak and call. And once again, if it went into public and they mute anybody, then I interrupted you. The people's rights, not the court's rights, not anybody in the courtroom, but the people's right from hearing the evidence in court.
Sorry, Stephanie Rincon is not available. Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Hi,
Yes, Stephanie, my name is Jeff Morgan. I'm calling from Dallas, Texas, and I was wondering why the hearing with Terrence Champagne was interrupted. There is a background on legal standards that the judge must uphold. The public right to access remote hearings during the COVID-19 pandemic. This was written by District Judge Roy Ferguson, and the public has the right to reasonable notice and access to court proceedings, both civil and criminal. The Sixth Amendment of the Constitution affords the defendants the right to a public trial, and that is extended to Texas through the 14th Amendment to juvenile justice cases. The Supreme Court has held that the press and the public have a similar independent right under the First Amendment to attend all criminal proceedings in both federal and state courts. The courts must ensure and accommodate public attendance at court hearings. In some instances, improper and unjustified closure of court proceedings constitutes structural error requiring automatic reversal and the grant of a new trial. There are constitutional issues at stake. The First Amendment belongs to the public, not to the parties, and it is the court's affirmative burden to ensure meaningful and unfettered.
That's what I just said. It's for the public to be able to watch.
Access to court proceedings. In fulfilling this burden, the court must take all reasonable measures necessary to ensure public access. Lack of access to a single hearing, the suppression such as happened in hour number 2, or even a portion of a single hearing, the voir dire, is enough to mandate reversal and a new trial. The courts must find a practical and effective way to enable public access to virtual court proceedings. Choosing not to provide reasonable and meaningful public access to remote court proceedings at this time may equate to constitutional error and mandate reversal. This is a burden that is upon the court to make sure that we have access to these hearings. It is a constitutional issue. The court shall remain open. And once again, terminating or interrupting live stream without an alternative means for the public to view the hearing, even temporarily, would constitute a complete closure, and a higher burden would apply. So I am going to ask that the judge be notified that we are watching. I want the hearings to be public on YouTube, once again, as they should be, and I intend at this point to file a complaint with the State Commission on Judicial Conduct about this type of egregious behavior by the judge. We will be going forth with this. Thank you very much, and once again, I look forward to seeing the rest of the hearing online on YouTube. The judge is now notified. Thank you.
Okay, so this guy is pretty awesome on what he's doing now. That being said, I operate a little bit different. I think he really actually goes by law instead of lawful. Okay, so I noticed on some of the paperwork it said child in there. Child is a legalese term. Never agreed to child. It's son and daughters. Okay, let's stay out of legalese and stay in the common law area, which is all living people. Child is constructed as not a living thing. Okay, so you must stand as a man, stand as a woman. Your offsprings must be son or daughters, not child. Okay? Alright, so we're going to end it here, y'all. I hope you guys liked it. It is what it is. I'm going to look into more a little bit about this guy because he has some type of knowledge on some things. Again, I don't never look straight forward. I always look around me. For the outside forces may want to commit harm upon me. If I can learn something from him, then it gains knowledge for me to be able to protect myself by any means necessary. And that's what I'm after. Alright? Take everything that's going on here with a grain of salt. Once again, I'm not an attorney, so this is just a learning video. to be able to benefit you somehow. Okay? Again, this is not exactly the way I would do it, but I did not see the full court deal to see what was happening in the whole process of it. And the guy probably cut most of it out and kept the main parts in there for us we the people, to recognize what the cause and effect of the actions is. Alright? Anyway, I'm going to check in a little bit more of this, and maybe there's something else that we can learn from him. It don't matter if you're a man or a person or anything. If we could figure out how to better protect ourselves in court, then that's always good news. Till next time, y'all. Bye.